Hi, Bill Doherty, co-founder of the Doherty Relationship Institute. And I want to talk about defensiveness. Defensiveness. Boom, we think of that as a negative thing because we're trying to help people be open. And I want to talk about two ways to think about this in the Doherty approach. One is healthy defensiveness. Healthy defensiveness. And that is if somebody's boundaries are being invaded, and they are pushing back, then maybe that is what we're seeing is somebody being defensive, maybe actually healthy. So I'll give you an example. So somebody's said they're going to ask their boss for special time off next summer, so they can, they could do some big family thing. And they're waiting for the right moment, and their spouse is eager to have them do it, and their spouse keeps bringing up, when are you going to do that? This may be part of a larger pattern, so it's not like people bring this as the main issue to therapy, but taking that as an example. And so you get the person whose own responsibility this is in their work, they feel their boundaries are being invaded. So are you going to do it tomorrow morning? When have you have your annual review coming up. So, hey, you're pushing into my territory here. And so you get this defensive, I'll do it when I do it, and blah, blah, blah. And then the other person feels blocked out. Or it may be something around, your relationship with your mother or your father, something in your own realm where your spouse is trying to navigate you in a certain direction. I would put those into the category of boundary invasions and autonomy protecting. Now, sometimes people do it in a negative way, and that's why we call it defensive. Part of what I want to help them as a couple see is that there's a boundary invasion here. And then for the person who is feeling their autonomy invaded, to have healthier ways or more direct ways to say, no, this is sort of my territory and I'd like you to back out. That would be a non-defensive, healthy way to do it. But the intuition, the instinct to off my case here is actually a healthy one. And so I'm not going to approach this from the point of view getting that person to change to not be so defensive, as much as I'm going to start with the boundary invasion part of this, which has to be looked at first, and then I'm going to go to how they can respond in a different way. So that's healthy defensiveness. Now, there's other forms of defensiveness when people feel criticized or whatever, and those are situations which somebody may be under-functioning in the relationship. I mean, genuinely under-functioning, not doing their part, screwing up, leaving everything to their spouse to do, okay? And so there, the dynamic can be their partner comes into therapy and is incensed about having to carry everything, and the other is, I'm not understood, or I do a lot, and Bobby, you're always on my case. So an unhealthy defensiveness. There, the trap is that the therapist can get into a pursuing pattern. And then that sounds like a critical pattern, basically, why aren't you stepping up kind of thing. And the person is not seeing themselves that way, or they deep down see it, but they're not going to admit it. They're used to fending off, okay? So you have their spouse who is in this, I'm here as an adult. You have the therapist who's here, I'm in this adult, and you're the kid. And so as a therapist, you have to be really, really careful about not falling into a one-up or pursuing. And what you have to do there is relate to this person, grant them full adulthood in your mind, even if they're not functioning that way, grant them that. And there's lots of skills in how to do this that we talk about in the Doherty approach. I can't get into all those now. But the idea is to relate to that person, their own independent, autonomous take on what's going on, how they see what role they play, what role they would like to play, and really avoid getting into a dance with them that they can be pretty good at warding off. And it can be sort of surprising to people that you're not accepting the offer to ally with their spouse. So in summary, healthy defensiveness can be Boundary protection, we have to start at the systemic level. Unhealthy defensiveness can be a trap for the therapist to walk right into. And we have to then treat people with great respect for their autonomous adulthood, even if they're not acting that way.